Hello everyone, my name is Quad and welcome to a showcase of Nautilus Prime and Verglas Prime. To get both of these, you just need to get Nautilus Prime by cracking open relics, which you can see in the codex. Verglas Prime will come with Nautilus Prime once you build it. To see which relics you need, just go to the codex and type Nautilus Prime because the relic names will change with future updates. So just type Nautilus Prime into the search bar and you should be golden. In this video, we will first go over Nautilus Prime, a Railjack Sentinel which is in my opinion the less wanted piece from the duo, and then we will also look at Verglas Prime, a companion weapon that can be as good as normal weapons even on Steel Path. And I will also share my builds for both of these things. First, let's look at Nautilus Prime though. Here are the stats and its comparison to the normal Nautilus. We get increased shield and armor, which is quite good. When modding it, you can add 2 Nautilus-specific mods to it, Auto Omni, which will help you with your Railjack upkeep, and Cordon, which shoots a grenade that grabs enemies and pulls them together into small groups. As you can see, I have both of these mods on here for Railjack missions, but honestly, you're better off using any other companion if you're not playing Railjack. It is absolutely pointless to use them in normal missions. Just use any other companion, you are much better off with it. When it comes to modding it, Nautilus Prime will come with 4 preset polarities, the I ones, on the sides and 1 Vazarin polarity. My build here requires 3 more formas to fit all the mods. This build right here is focused on giving us boosts with the Reinforced Bond mod, which gives us a fire rate or melee attack speed boost if the companion has over 1200 shields. That's why we also have calculated redirection here to give us those shields. In order for our Sentinel to attack, we have the Assault Mode mod right here. If we don't have this one, the Sentinel will not use its Verglas Prime, so you need to have it. And we also have the Vacuum mod, so we can pick up things from afar. Additionally, I also have Primed Regen and Primed Animal Instinct for less revival time and more loot and enemy radar. Do we need this? Not really, but it is a nice quality of life feature. Additionally, I also have 2 mods which are focused on spreading status effects onto enemies. You of course may use other mods as well, for example Fired Up, which will give our Nautilus Prime heat status on its weapon, but you have to be careful with it since it will combine into combined effects if you have any basic ones on your companion weapon. For example, if you have cold status, it will combine into blast, so yeah, be careful. Anyways, Momentous Bond and Contagious Bond are 2 mods that will help us spread status. I will show them off a bit later when we are looking at Verglas Prime, because they are very potent. But this is enough of Nautilus Prime. Honestly, I would replace this Sentinel if you're not playing Railjack missions or aren't going for the Reinforced Bond bonus to the fire rate and melee speed. Other Sentinels have way better potential for normal missions and hell, sometimes even Railjack missions. But yeah, let's now go over to Verglas Prime, the thing everyone is here for, I think. Verglas Prime is a staggeringly better version of the Verglas companion weapon, with increased stats across the board, especially critical chance. It comes with the Narrowmon polarity, which is not the best, but it is okay. When it comes to the builds, I have 2. One is a support build that will require you to invest 2 more formas into the build, and one is a normal weapon build to kill enemies with, which will require you to invest 4 formas. I done goofed up a bit, so I used 5 formas on here by accident, an oopsie on my part, but anyways, the first build I have is, as I said, focused on spreading status. This build for Verglas Prime will spread status like crazy. We have Hunter Track and Continuous Misery for a longer status duration, Split Chamber for more multi-shot, Shivering Contagion for crowd control and spreading cold status, 2 status mods with additional status chance, Thermite rounds and Malignant Force, and then we also have Rifle Aptitude for even more status chance and Vile Acceleration for increased fire rate. The goal of this build is simple. We will rely on killing Eximus units to spread more status with the Momentous Bond mod we have on our Sentinel. You can see that right now our Nautilus Prime only spreads cold and gas status. However, if we kill an Eximus unit, it will spread other status types as well. The funny thing is, the status effects will not combine, so That is cool as well for all the galvanized aptitude and conditioned overload users, you know. Besides all this status spread to one specific enemy, you have to remember that it will also spread status if it kills an enemy with the Contagious Bond mod we have on our Sentinel. So let me show you how it works on some level 1 enemies. I quickly sniped a couple of Eximus units so we have multiple status effects. Yeah, it can get very insane very quickly, especially in Eximus intense missions. Anyways though, if you want a more one-man army build for your Verglas Prime, you can use this build, which requires 4 formas. It is modded as a normal primary weapon with Serration, Split Chamber, and Prime Bane of Orokin for more damage and multi-shot against Orokin enemies. Of course, you can use any other mod instead of Bane of Orokin, like other Bane mods, damage mods, fire rate mods, multi-shot mods. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're going against enemies that are not from that faction, for example, Acolytes. Additionally, I also have Critical Delay for more critical chance, and Sense for more critical damage. Hunter Munitions for a chance of slash effects on critical attacks, and Malignant Force for Toxin status that combines into Viral status with the innate Cold status Verglas Prime has. And for the end, I also have Vigilant Fervor for a chance of orange crits and some more fire rate. Now this build is in my opinion not as good as the one I showed before if you're playing below the base steel path. There is no doubt that this build, the more expensive one, will kill enemies a lot quicker, but we don't need to kill enemies a lot quicker if they are very easily killed. That is why I recommend you use the Spreading Status build if you're playing on the base steel path. It is still good and will kill enemies very quickly. Anyways, at this point I just want to yap a bit, so I will leave a survival mission I played in the background with my Nautilus Prime and Verglas Prime. But anyways, Nautilus Prime is not a good sentinel for anything else than railjack missions. If you're not going for the reinforced bond mod and the buffs you get with it, the fire rate and melee speed buffs, it is absolutely pointless to even choose Nautilus Prime because it is only good for railjack missions. Any other sentinel is much better, so that is it. Just use any other sentinel. Point main. When it comes to Verglas Prime though, there is a couple cool things and a couple bad things. First, let's talk about the Overguard. The Overguard some special enemies have, for example Eximus units, absolutely destroys Verglas Prime's performance. It will deal very little damage to it, so that's why you will have to do a lot of damage to it yourself by your own weapons. Besides that, the Contagious Bond on our Sentinels may be hard to activate because the Sentinel actually needs to kill the unit to spread the status on it. This may be hard because on the Steel Path, it can be hard to kill units with the Sentinel because you will kill most of the time the units yourself. This is why I recommend you use some sort of armor stripping ability that will reduce the armor of the enemies and with this make them more potent to damage. So yeah, the Verglas Prime actually kills things. You know, it's good, but it is sadly not that good. If you're playing anything on the lower levels, not the Steel Path, just the normal missions, yeah, you're going to destroy absolutely everything though, like easily. Verglas Prime, or even the normal Verglas, is absolutely one of the best weapons with pinpoint accuracy, very quick reload, and extreme damage potential. To add to everything, Sentinel weapons, Verglas Prime for example as well, also activate all the arcane buffs you can get. For example, Cascadia Flare that requires you to apply heat status onto enemies can activate simply by having a Sentinel with a heat status on the Sentinel weapon. That is really freaking good. Of course, it is not the most reliable, but it is a good thing if you want to have different status effects on your weapon and don't want to have heat status on them. It is really fun to play with. Just some fun build, you know. But yes, thank you all for watching. If you want more videos like this, condensed but packed full of information, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the channel for more future content like this. Thank you everyone for watching and have a very nice day. Bye guys.